I think the question is central and key. If Israel has a right to exist, and if your answer is no, then I guess the question becomes, why do the Palestinians have a right to exist? Why do 20 different Muslim countries have a right to exist?
My answer is that no country in this world establishes its ability to exist through rights. Countries establish their ability to exist through force.
Well, this week, CBS News executive said this interview failed to meet the network's editorial standards. But some journalists and media critics have actually come out in defense of it, calling the line of questioning just good journalism.
Our next guest is the acclaimed New York Times best-selling author Ta-Nehisi Coates. His new book, The Message, is a trio of interconnected essays that examine how the stories we tell or avoid telling can shape and even distort our reality. In the book, Coates reflects on his emotional first trip to Africa to visit the Car Synagogue. Then he takes readers to Columbia, South Carolina, where he reports on the attempted banning of one of his books on race. And finally, Coates travels to the Middle East to witness the Israeli-Palestinian conflict firsthand. Ta-Nehisi Coates, good morning. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Good morning, guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
This news is funded by viewers like you. Please support our work.
Actually took with great trepidation.
In terms of what most surprised you, and the structure of your book is addressed to your students.
To be engaged with
From Senegal, you take us to Colombia.
George Orwell, Why I Write.
Our next guest is the acclaimed New York Times best-selling author Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Why does any of Israel exist? What a horrific place that has a right to exist.
Any other country. Those were the stories that I have not heard. And those were the stories that I was most occupied with. I wrote a 260-page book. It is not a treatise on the entirety of the conflict between the Palestinians and the Israelis.
But if you were to read this book, you would be left wondering, why does any of Israel exist? What a horrific place, committing horrific acts on a daily basis. So I think the question is central and key. If Israel has a right to exist, and if your answer is no, then I guess the question becomes, why do the Palestinians have a right to exist? Why do 20 different Muslim countries have a right to exist?
My answer is that no country in this world establishes its ability to exist through rights. Countries establish their ability to exist through force, as America did. And so I think this question of right to Israel does exist. It's a fact. The question of its right is not a question that I would be faced with any other country.
But you write a book that delegitimizes the pillars of Israel. It seems like an effort to topple the whole building of it. So I come back to the question, and it's what I've struggled with throughout this book. What is it that so particularly offends you about the existence of a Jewish state that is a Jewish safe place, and not any of the other states out there?
There's nothing that offends me about a Jewish state. I am offended by the idea of states built on ethnocracy, no matter where they are.
Muslim included.
I would not want a state where any group of people lay down their citizenship rights based on ethnicity.
Financial advisor. I do have lots of connections on Franklin. Legal connections. His name is people we line up to do business with. Mr. Spock. I'm sure there must be something I can do to make you change your mind. Would 40 bricks of cold-pressed lapis?
All we hear is Radio Gaga,
50, 60,
Radio
done.
Gaga, Radio Gaga. All we hear is internet.
The country of Israel is a
Gaga.
state in which half the population exists on one tier of citizenship, and everybody else that's ruled by Israelis exists on another tier, including Palestinian Israeli citizens. The only people that exist on that first tier are Israeli Jews. Why do we support that? Why is that okay? I'm the child of Jim Crow. I'm the child of people that were born into a country where that was exactly the case of American apartheid. I walk over there and I walk through the occupied territories and I walk down the street in Hebron. And the guy says to me, I can't walk down the street unless I profess my religion.
Have them executed immediately.
Oui.
Understood. Will be done at once.
I'm with another cop. No. I want to. This is very, very important. It's extremely important. I'm working with the person that is guiding me. He's a Palestinian whose father, whose grandfather, and grandmother was born in this town. And I have more freedom to walk than he does. He can't ride on certain roads. He can't get water in the same way that Israeli citizens who live less than a mile away from him can. Why is that okay?
Why is there no this book for the Palestinians?
Now, our next guest says that he must confront the truth no matter how difficult.
Previous work, especially between the world and me. But in this new book, you go to 3 different places.
That's terrible to admit, but certainly that was the back of my mind. It's something that was funny. I didn't expect to be, welcome with drums and, welcome home, brother.
Last words?
No, I didn't expect anything. That wasn't Good evening.
coercing your conformity and suppressing your submission. David Cameras, how did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others. They will be held accountable.
This news is funded by viewers like you.
Average American has a real sense of what they're doing over there. And I emphasize what we do. It's not possible without American support. I have heard people say over and over again that the greatest happening in the world. States across the world perpetrating crimes against whole groups of people. Why pick on Israel? And the thing I say is, I'm an American. This is the thing that we have our fingerprints on. Those bombs over Gaza, the planes that drop bombs on Gaza. The
ordered a cheap bullwhip from Amazon or from a costume shop, the thing to do is take these outside and give them a crack.
My plan is to do 3 tests with these whips.
Sometimes local checkpoints if they know we're there. Sometimes checkpoints appear out of the blue, which is what they call flying checkpoints. Your basic movement is constantly held. The justice system, which is deeply flawed for African Americans here, is quite literally segregated. It is a civil justice system that the minority of African settlers as Israeli citizens enjoy. And there is an entirely separate justice system that Palestinians on the West Bank are subject to. You can be arrested, for instance, as an Israeli citizen, and you do all the rights that we are familiar with. You have to be told what the charges are, etc. You are arrested as a Palestinian.
Okay. If I can throw it. No.
Learn something about this whip.
So we can do, I can drop it. I drop it back.
Okay, really patient with it, we can get it to crack, but that's pretty ridiculous that that's what you have to do to make that work. Sure, I'll try and do a ball with this. Almost? Maybe?
Soldier stopped out, was young enough to be my son, stopped out and asked me what was my religion. It was clear that I had to state my religion in order to pass. When I told him that I was not religious, he asked what my mother's religion was. When I told him my mother wasn't particularly religious, he asked what my grandmother's religion was. And this is a very long-awaited and long-lasting adaptation of Alan and grandmother's religion. You are referring to something beyond do I accept Christ as my personal savior, or what God I pray to. You are asking a deeper question about my ancestry. And it became clear that if I did not give the right answer to that question, I would not be allowed to pass.
The lead character, at no point do you see their face. I mean, unlike the Judge Dredd thing in which Sylvester Stallone said, I'm not going to play Judge Dredd unless I can take the bucket off my head. And they went, okay, and then he took it off and you went, oh, it's Sylvester Stallone. In V for Vendetta, the mask.
So, long-awaited, and that's understating it, Watchmen, adaptation of a classic comic novel co-written by Alan Moore, who famously has sort of taken his name off it and indeed off movie adaptations of his work because he doesn't like them. He was on the Culture Show about a year ago, maybe a couple of years ago, he was talking about why he didn't like it.
They call me Dr. Manhattan. They explain the name has been chosen. The ominous associations of
about
always
what was Gaza
enemies.
like before October 7th of last year,
They are shaping me
and
into
how were
something
the residents of Gaza
Something
being
lethal.
treated essentially in an open-air prison.
Yes, I completely agree. Look, I love that the young lady who was saying earlier in the lead-in, every life is a unique. I truly believe that. And so, as I've said before, like there really is no part of my politics that has the ability to look at October 7th and not mourn the death, the massacre, the atrocities, perpetrated. I just wish that some of my countrymen, especially my country, especially American
president asks me about
that same sort of compassion and that same sort of energy for October 6th, October 5th, etc. It's kind of abstracting events outside of their historical context. It's really necessary to the political order because it allows us to justify ourselves and not have to think harder and not have to ask, much deeper questions. You really have to be able to hold both. And I know that sounds a bit cliche, but I truly do believe that you have to, believe in this idea that I actually just heard today. That there's a universe. I think that's a really, really beautiful articulation, and that has to be true for all life. That has to be.
When your teacher can fly at Mach 20, middle school math problems might seem, well, a bit trivial. But of course, if that teacher deeply cares about your education, then you don't really have a choice, do you? Assassination Classroom is just as absurd as it is endearing.
On TV. Man, no matter how I tell these people, man, he just.
Sag bloß, die haben mir das jetzt abgenommen.
All these naked heads have got to go. I'm serious. The lady wants a hat. The lady her head says no, but her heart says.
The goods are raised so that our air show can start at 12:30. We have
Yeah.